4.1, write linear equations in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. We learned that from chapter 3. M is the slope, and b is the y-intercept. Example 1 says, write an equation of a line with a slope of -2 and a y-intercept of 5. A slope of -2, here's our slope in front of the x, so y equals -2x, and then we have a y-intercept of 5. That would be plus 5. Example 2, which equation represents the line shown? We have a y-intercept, so we always want to know what m is and what b is. We can see here on the y-axis that the line is intersecting at 1, 2, 3. So the y-intercept is 3, and now we just need to calculate the slope. They have going between these two places, they are rising -2 and running positive 5. Rise -2 and run positive 5. We're looking for an equation that has a slope of -2/5 and a y-intercept of 3. The y-intercept of 3, that means that it couldn't be this one or this one because they don't have a y-intercept of 3. Looking at these two, they both have a y-intercept of 3, and I'm looking for a slope of -2/5. -2/5. Here they have x over y instead of y over x. So A would be the answer. Write an equation of the line shown. We need m and we need b. What is the y-intercept? It's usually the easier one to start with. Here's our y-axis. Where is the line intersecting the y-axis? The y-intercept is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, -5. So that y-intercept is 5. And now we're going to rise and run. Make sure we can see the lines here. It's 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this point is at 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Sorry about the graph. From one point, we're going to rise and run. We're going to rise and run between 2 points. So we're going to rise, and then we're going to run. How much am I rising? 1, 2, 3, 4. Rising 4 and running 1, 2, 3. So my slope would be rise 4 and run 3. And now I can write an equation. Y equals mx plus b, and all I have to do is substitute in for my slope and my y-intercept. Y equals 4/3 x plus 5. Write an equation for the linear function f with the values f of 0 equals 5 and f of 4 equals 17. That means when x is 0, y is 5. This is the point 0, 5. And this would be the point f of 4 equals 17 would be 4, 17. So I need to write an equation of a line, and all I have is 2 points. I need to see a slope, and I need to see a y-intercept. Well, we know how to find slope given 2 points. So step 1 is to change your function notation into some coordinates. Step 2 is to find the slope. Subtracting our y values divided by the difference of our x values. So our slope is 17 minus 5 divided by 4 minus 0. We get 12 divided by 4, which equals 3. We found that our slope was 3. The next thing that we need to do is we need to find that y-intercept. If I look at the points that are given here, what's 0, 5? What does it mean to be a y-intercept? It means to land on the y-axis, x is not going to be a negative number and x is not going to be a positive number. It would have to be 0. X will have to be 0 if I'm going to land on the y-axis. And then whatever that number is, that's what your y-intercept looks like. 0 and a y number. We can see here that we're given a y-intercept. 0, 5 is the y-intercept. We have that b equals 5. Here we found that m equals 3. If I have m and I have b, I can write an equation of a line. Y equals mx plus b. That means that y equals my slope 3x plus 5, my y-intercept. Example 5, a recording studio. A recording studio charges musicians an initial fee of $50 to record an album. Studio time costs an additional $35 per hour. If I was only going to be there for 1 hour, then it would be $35 plus the initial fee. If I'm going to be there for 2 hours, then it would be $70 plus the initial $50. Write an equation that gives the total cost of an album as a function of studio time in hours. We have that C will be our cost. S will be the studio time. So what do we know? We know that we have an additional $50 for the initial fee. We also know that it costs $35 per 1 hour. That is the studio time. We know that the cost, we talked about earlier, the cost is going to be $35 per hour plus the initial fee. Find the total cost of recording an album that takes 10 hours. It takes 10 hours. This equation should be 35t plus 50. That's the equation we're looking for. The equation that we're looking for is cost equals 35 times the studio time, S. So if the studio time was 1 hour, it'd be 35. If it was 2 hours, it'd be 70. And now we can use this equation to figure out problem B. Find the total cost of recording an album that takes 10 hours of studio time. So the cost is going to be $35 times the studio time of 10 hours plus 50. The cost equals $350 plus 50. So the cost